Happy 2018, everyone. Welcome to Broken Barbie TV. I'm your host, Adonis Duro. To start out 2018, Gypsy and I are doing something different. This is our podcast, or our version of a podcast that we call a DOLLCAST. Now, those of you that tuned into our Instagram Live on New Year's Eve 2017 going into 2018 know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get into it as we review a comment left by one of our favorite viewers.
XJ9 Janine said, I think people don't favor Adonis because he talks more about his day-to-day life and less about dolls. Adonis talks about polygamy, dating, relationships, hip-hop, etc. So, these topics may be unfamiliar and or strange to a newcomer or someone who is just looking for an escape strictly with dolls. Not only that, but Adonis's view on these topics can be best described as unheard of, unpopular, the minority opinion, painful truth, and controversial. It doesn't help that Adonis also has this less of a lightheaded vibe to him. With you, Gypsy, even if you say something that may trigger someone, your tone is much more welcoming. Anyway, that's my opinion on the topic. I enjoyed this channel so much, and you guys do so much to make it stand out from the next guy over at the other channels. Shout out to Adonis for making a lot of content. And then she went on to say, also, here are some reminders. The first idea that I had for you guys was to do a new series on the channel where you go into great detail about the character of your dolls. You would talk about your appeal towards the doll, personality assigned to that doll, any inspiration, like short documentaries, basically. My second idea was the hip-hop clothing tutorial, which would also be a new series. You could make clothing that are obviously hip-hop inspired and explain the history of a particular look, the significance which rappers wore it, etc. Anyways, I'm out. Peace. Okay, so my analysis of this comment, which let me start by saying I think is a good comment because Janine knows us very well. She's not making her assumptions based on like once or twice landing. Yeah, she watches our videos. She's always in our live videos. She's got, I feel like, equal exposure to you and to me. And also, she has private conversations with you a lot on Instagram, right?
Well, I wouldn't say private conversations. I mean,
not private, like...
She is 17.
Oh, God. That's not what I mean. I mean private conversations like you and her are talking to each other outside of the comments.
Well, officer, I wouldn't say talking to her.
You're so stupid. Talking is not illegal, thank you.
I'm not talking.
I wouldn't say I know her, officer. I mean, I've seen her icons floating around the internet here and there.
Janine who, officer? We have a lot of subscribers. I can't tell one from the other.
You're so stupid. Are you done? All right. Anyway, so Janine's opinion is not biased with her lack of knowledge of our individual personalities. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm taking what Janine says to heart because she actually knows us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and she's also a doll collector and a viewer of DollTube, so she knows what she's comparing the material to. Everyone else versus Broken Barbie TV, right?
I think so.
Because I feel like everyone else has a lot in common. They kind of base and structure their channels and their activities on each other's material, you know?
Well, here's where I'm coming from. Read the, like a part where she was talking about my view. Well, read it slowly though.
Alright, so she said, Adonis talks about polygamy, dating, relationships, hip-hop, etc. And these topics may not be familiar or strange to a newcomer or someone who is just looking for an escape strictly through dolls.
No, that wasn't the part I was talking about, but keep going.
His views on the topic can be described as unheard of.
Wait. Playing with dolls as an adult can be viewed as unheard of. Keep going.
Unpopular.
Playing with dolls as an adult is unpopular. Keep going.
The minority opinion.
The minority of adults play with dolls as adults.
Painful truth.
The painful truth is, why are you playing with a doll as an adult? You shouldn't be doing that.
And controversial.
It's controversial for adults to play with dolls. So the same views that people would have towards me, everybody outside of the doll community has these views towards all of you.
Right.
So, what the fuck are you idiots talking about? I'm not, and again, I'm not even talking about our Broken Barbie TV people. Close to 10,000 people agree with us 100%. These people who are saying this sideways stuff about us are motherfuckers who are coming from the guys next door that Janine is talking about, and they're coming over here and they're like, oh, what? This is not like chocolate swirl. I hate this.
Chocolate swirl.
Whatever the hell her name is. Those people who are leaving those comments are coming from these other doll channels where shit is very no hip hop, very not a lot of black people ish, very not a lot of soul, no urban culture, and we see urban culture everywhere, even in these dolls. Okay.
Yeah, and they seem to be very catered towards children. It's just a coincidence that adults are landing on their pages too, but it's not.
There's no adults over there. Even the adults are like, hee hee hee. I'm not no fucking kindergarten teacher. I'm a grown man who fucks, have sex with my wife. I don't know what you other adults be doing. Me and my wife, we fuck.
You saying this, the way you're saying it, is what Janine is referring to when she says, it doesn't help that Adonis also has this less of a light-headed vibe to him, where you're basically just like telling it how it is, I guess.
Hold on. Apply that to doll culture. When these people tell you you shouldn't be playing with dolls as an adult, they're not telling you that nicely. They're not telling you that with a level head. They're not telling you that in the way a principal would talk to a kindergartner. They're telling you that like an adult to an adult. What the fuck is wrong with you? A doll? I should break this shit over your fucking head.
Oh my god.
Did you pay the bills today? Holy fuck. This is why I'm fucking the neighbor.
Yeah, but I mean, people saying that, it's not looked at by other people like, thank you for keeping it real with me and saying that to me. They look at it like that's very aggressive and mean for them to address what they're saying the way that they're saying it.
So what I'm saying, people say that to you as an adult that collects dolls.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So as another adult that collects dolls, you shouldn't be looking at me and doing the same thing that these people do to you. Because, believe it or not, nobody talks to me about collecting dolls. Nobody looks down on me. I mean, they do it with a closed mouth. They don't say it to my face. They can say whatever they want to say from the comfort of their home. Nobody comes to my face and say, hey, dude, we collected them dolls for. Yeah. Nobody. Men or women. So, what gives these people the right to thug it out against me? Get out of here. You're not gonna thug me, just like these people who aren't in the doll community don't thug me. If these people who don't collect dolls don't be running up to me acting all tough, there's no way I'm gonna let.
Well, this is another part of what she said that I thought was interesting. She was referring to viewers whose sole purpose in being on YouTube is to find an escape through their dolls by watching content that helps them to do that. And I think
I like that adjective she used. Escape. Is that an adjective?
Escape is a verb.
Okay, whatever. Well, I like that verb she used. Escape. That's what you can do from the channel. Escape. You're not trapped here. You don't like what I'm saying. For whatever your reasons are, you can have your reasons. Escape to Chocolate Drop, whatever her name. Escape over there. She's waiting for you to tell you all about colors and numbers and how much we love each other and just flowers and rainbows and jujubes. All with Barbies. They were waiting for you over there. That is not what we do over here. That's never been what we do over here. I just got a message from somebody super attractive. There's no doll content on this person's page whatsoever, anywhere. This person, like, I started my own channel and they said something, so I started following them because I'm like, this person can't be a doll person. Plenty of people follow us for this poly thing that she's talking about. A lot of people follow us for the poly thing because the poly thing is a lot like the doll thing.
Yeah, it's very underground.
And I can't be myself.
Yeah, and you don't really hear people talking about it publicly.
Right, I can't talk to anybody about it. They look at me like I'm a weirdo, so this and this and that. That's what I thought this person was. So I started following them from my page. This person says, yo, I've been watching you guys for like 3 years. I like what you and Gypsy do. Y'all are so exclusive. This person said that, and I was like, wow, you've been watching us since back then? Here's another thing. We weren't even talking about polygamy 3 years ago. So I'm like, and this person was watching us from back then. This person is just gorgeous, and you just was being quiet?
Yeah.
Just sitting in the wings, just watching us and watching the videos and all of that stuff? We're catering to more than just the doll channel. You guys can't get possessive and say, oh, you're adult doll collectors. You're ours only. You know, we inspire a lot of people. Because this particular person said that, you know, we got them back into doll collecting.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this person, and this person, I'm not going to say their name because maybe they don't want everybody in their business as far as their doll collecting, but they're absolute career-looking women.
Okay.
Absolute career. Now, before y'all say anything, we have career people on our channel that are comfortable with their dolls, and nobody's telling them anything.
Yeah.
So it's not those people. If people like Jay might go, well, I'm going to go find out who this is.
Shout out to Tevin.
Jay might be putting on his detective cap. Well, who is this hoe?
I know, right? Boy.
You're never going to figure out who it is.
Now, see, the way that we are kind of like inside joking about Tevin, one of our viewers, who's like a regular, you know, viewer that we correspond with, that's the level I feel like Janine is on with us. So the things that she's saying, I don't think she's saying this stuff necessarily because that's her view. I think she's trying to vocalize.
Listen. Janine is very perceptive. I don't look at what she's saying.
Really smart.
As she's dissing me. She is like,
she's putting into perspective for you.
Yeah.
What other people can't articulate to you.
And
so it's just coming off as they're like, shut up, Adonis. You know what I'm saying?
And Janine is very analytical. So I'm not taking what she's saying as it's a diss.
Nah.
Actually, Janine,
she put it very well.
Yeah, it was very eloquent the way she put it. I don't think this is the way she looks at it. I think she's saying, well, this is the way these other people.
Now, but here's the dealio. When I first presented the idea of starting my doll channel to Adonis and then later revamped the channel to go more down the line of Barbie centered well, I shouldn't even say Barbie, more like 12-inch dolls and fashion dolls, as opposed to just dolls in general. My reasoning for that was because my first real love for dolls was Barbie. Even though I didn't actually like have any, I always coveted them, and I felt like I had missed out on my like 12-inch doll collection because I had to give them up as a child. So I missed handling them and posing them and doing all of that. But at the same time, Adonis and I were brewing these ideas for a skit series, and at first the idea was to use human beings, but we realized that that was kind of a little bit out of our league at the time. So our compromise was, well, why don't we just do it with dolls? So as we were building up our collection of dolls to play all these different people, we realized we need more ethnic dolls because all the stories that we wanted to tell revolved around people of color. The irony of this whole conversation is that a lot of you viewers don't realize from the beginning, Broken Barbie TV has always been controversial because when we first started this channel, nobody was talking about black dolls. Nobody was talking about hip hop. Nobody was talking about how anything in the urban community correlated to doll collecting.
Wait. From the beginning, all of that stuff that Janine said that people like, what's that part that she said? People with this unconventional, it's this, it's that.
She said that, you know, we're talking about controversial things that are not popular topics. polygamy, dating, relationships, hip hop, etc.
Well,
Day-to-day life.
Well, we weren't even polygamous when we started Broken Barbie TV. But she said like people's views specifically. I wanna focus on that.
People's views.
It can be viewed as this. It can be viewed as that. What she said specifically.
Oh yeah, she was saying that it could be seen as unheard of, unpopular, minority opinion, painful truth, controversial.
That right there, when we first started Broken Barbie TV, nobody was doing anything that was that. The biggest doll
channel
tuber was Froggy, and she wasn't doing any of that.
Right, and actually, speaking of Froggy's show, the Darby Show, was originally based on Bible scriptures. She was turning Bible scriptures into skits and then presenting her views of religion on the masses that were watching.
Not anymore.
I don't know if she is or not because I haven't seen any of her content in the last few months. But what I'm saying is, whether you realize that's what she was doing or didn't, you didn't see a bunch of people complaining that, she's talking about Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? And I think Janine is saying, when Gypsy's on screen, that kind of effect of, I'm saying the same thing you're saying, but the people are just kind of tricked into listening and not whining about it because she's saying, I sound like I'm more welcoming. Whereas you're like, this is how I feel. If you don't like it, who cares? I don't give a fuck. Fuck off. You know what I'm saying? And that harshness that you're presenting the same information with is what people can't swallow and makes them all riled up because they're emotional and they got something to say.
Well, at the same time, this is what corporate America hits you with. They hit you with, this is what your electric company hits you with. You got to pay the bills or we're going to turn the lights off.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just it. This is what the bank hits you with. You got to pay your mortgage or we're going to throw you out of the house.
Right, but people don't like that. They're not like, yes, the bank sent me this letter where they was keeping it real, telling me that if I don't pay this money, I'm going to lose my house. Awesome, bank. Thank you.
No, I understand. The bank wasn't telling them in a way that they liked it, but the bank was keeping it real. For real, bro. If you don't pay this money, we're going to take the house back and you're going to have to find different arrangements. The bank is keeping it 100 with you.
Yeah, they are.
I can't really help it that, a lot of people want for you to put sugar on this thing that they have to swallow anyway.
Well, that's what I think Janine is trying to express. She's saying that's why these people are whining, because they are that group of people that want the sugar coating and you refuse to give them the sugar coating, so they're, they're complaining that you aren't giving them enough sugar. You see what I'm saying?
I do understand, but it's not that I'm not giving you enough sugar. The sugar itself decided to go off and go do some other sugary things. You are the sugar. And you're telling these people... Who,
me?
Yo, man, I gotta go off and I gotta do this thing because you, in all of your sugariness, you're like, yo, I've gotta sprinkle sugar on everybody else's cereal in the morning. I can't stay here
that's true.
and only sprinkle sugar on your cereal.
And that's what I was getting to in the video where Janine left this comment when I was trying to explain that you guys lose, I guess, some of that sugariness when I am taking a hiatus from the channel and actively being a part of the channel because I have my own real life that I need to handle, and that stuff will take precedence to me. I will hyper focus on that stuff and kind of reduce my attention on these other things outside of that.
Let me say this. Here's the thing that I think that I don't know if these people don't realize if they don't want to do, because you told me this before about the doll community. They won't spend anything. They won't spend money on anything. They'll only spend money on, they'll spend money on what Mattel gives them. Yeah. But they won't spend money on anything else. Okay. Meanwhile, they'll whine and complain about these other things that they want, but they won't spend no money on it. Right. So, they can keep you here by spending some money to keep you here. The reality is, you got to go off to work, I got to go off to work. The reality is, you actually do have Asperger's, and a lot of our subscribers, they have Asperger's, so they absolutely know what you're going through. They absolutely know. So when you have to go off to work,
those are not the people that will complain like that. You see what I'm saying?
No, the Aspie people don't complain.
They totally get it.
I'm saying you have a lot of people who are subscribed to Broken Barbie TV and to the Instagram that have Asperger's, and they totally get you not feeling comfortable in your own skin, even though you're in a totally comfortable environment.
Right.
They get you coming home from work and having to
decompress.
Like, they totally get that. At the same time, those people are doll collectors. So it's like, I'm not telling people in the doll community, give us all this money so that we can stay home and make all the types of videos that you like, and you can see Gypsy in the content every day. I'm saying you're getting free
you're
content.
getting what you're paying for, basically, which is you're not paying for anything, so what you're getting is what you're getting.
I'm saying if you guys were to pay, if you guys were in maybe you can find a sugary way to say it, a way that makes them feel more comfortable. If those guys, but the reality is, if they were funding the content that you were making for
they would have
them,
more control of what the content is what you're saying.
Right. If they were funding, they would have more control over the content. They would be able to say, we don't like it when Adonis makes videos and he's such a meanie. Gypsy, why don't you make more videos for us?
But I don't think that you're mean. I think that you're just honest. You're very honest, and you don't package up your honesty with politically correct wording.
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is what it seems like the people that Janine are talking about. This is what it seems like they want. It seems like they want for this content to be packaged up in a politically correct way. It's not enough.
Well, that's not gonna ever happen. It doesn't matter how much money is funneled into the channel.
That they weren't even getting any black dolls anywhere.
Hey, let me just remind you guys of something real quick, okay? Those of you who have been following us for quite some time maybe don't even realize that this happened because it was such a subtle change. There was a time when I first was reviewing dolls where I would keep my negative viewpoints of what Mattel was specifically doing with the dolls to myself. I would still tell you guys what I didn't like about the doll, but I didn't put the blame on Mattel. I kind of just left that part out of the videos. And then as time progressed and the more I kept seeing these same issues reoccurring with the Mattel dolls, I just decided to stop sugarcoating that part, and I would just state in the videos why Mattel was responsible for these particular flaws and why I was holding them responsible for not paying attention to these flaws. Here's the deal. When I first started to do that, many of you were disturbed that I was critiquing Mattel. I even had, especially with the Made to Move dolls and those very simple outfits that they had, the yoga outfits and no shoes, I remember talking specifically about how ugly I thought their shirts were.
Oh,
and
I remember a lot of comments.
And people were in the comments
that's not ugly,
flipping out on me. Yeah, they were like, how could you say this about Mattel? How could you say this about their clothes? I don't think it's ugly. Oh, you're a horrible reviewer. And my response to those people were, I'm not going to tell you what a commercial would tell you about this product. What I feel as a consumer and collector based on my own standards of my collection is what I'm going to tell you. So if it doesn't stand up to my standards, I'm going to tell you that it doesn't stand up to my standards. And also, I am disclaiming that this is simply my personal opinion. You don't have to agree, but this is what I think, and it's my video, and I'm going to say what I feel like saying about it. So I spent my own money on that stuff.
What I noticed in the months and year to follow was other reviewers started
to do the same thing. And the vantage point of Mattel being held responsible for releasing subpar quality dolls, that whole attitude that I was bringing to the channel, it slowly turned into a new standard for people who are watching reviews. And in fact, I now have people that come to me and say, I found your channel and I'm so glad I did, and I subscribed because I heard you critiquing these manufacturers, where on all the other channels they totally sound sponsored. They're always kissing their asses. They never tell us any of the bad stuff, and you really prepared me for what to expect when I paid for this doll. Or they'd say, I heard your review and I fell in love with the doll based on pictures, but since I saw the review, I crossed this doll off my list of dolls to get because I'm not interested. These flaws, I could not live with them. So thank you for telling me the truth. You see what I'm saying? So the bottom line is, honesty has always been a part of this channel, and people were complaining to me about my level of honesty at one point too. It wasn't everything Gypsy was saying. People were just swallowing it and high-fiving me. No, there were a lot of things that people didn't like that I was doing on the channel in the beginning. But because I just stuck to my guns and addressed that like I'm doing right now to kind of let the viewers hear from my own words that it's not an accident. I'm not trying to impress you guys on this channel. I'm on here to just be myself and get things off of my chest. And I do that through talking about my dolls or playing things out with the dolls. I feel like the safe space that I had made for adult collectors on Broken Barbie TV, I was extending that to myself and my team, and Adonis is part of this team. So when Adonis was basically making content where he was just telling his truth the way he wanted to tell it, I didn't stop him from doing that because I could appreciate where he was coming from. And I'm not the sensitive person who's like, oh, I'm so offended because he just said that to me. Why did he say that? It's so offensive. I don't really feel like that because I know what he's saying is true. So I can't get offended by the truth. You know what I mean? Like, somebody could come up to you and say, you're poor. If you're poor, you can't really be offended that they told you that you're poor because it's true. How can you say that that offends you? But if they're saying you're poor and you're worthless because you're poor, that's a completely different story, you see? So Adonis is not telling anybody that they're wrong about their views. He's just talking about his own views. And those people that are critiquing what he's saying are attacking him for his views. They're mad because he's sharing his views. And here on...
You guys are attacking me in the same way that you were and are being
attacked for your views of, yes, for taking your doll so seriously. I wanted to go back to this part that Janina was talking about where she was saying that people are escaping strictly with their dolls. And the part that I was trying to get to was that I believe that we have different like levels of collecting in the doll community, and some of us are just casual collectors, and some of us are like diehard, hardcore, I gotta have the latest and the greatest type of collectors. And then some of us collect for therapeutic reasons. Those of us who are collecting for therapeutic reasons, I feel like that's just a number I'm throwing out there. It's not based on any stats. But in my opinion, I feel like a great majority, like 80% of us, do that and take our collecting so seriously that we have assigned personalities, names, backstories, and feelings to our dolls, almost like you would if you were playing like Sims 3 or Sims 4 and you make characters. You know how you get to pick their attributes, you get to pick their personality traits? I feel like we kind of just do that as collectors who are using our dolls as therapy. There's nothing wrong with that. But the significance of that is because so many of us collect on that level and we take it so seriously, this becomes our reality. Like, we'll obsess over it. We'll think about it when we're at work. Oh, what are my dolls doing right now at home? What's going on in their lives? What have they been thinking about all day? And when we pull the dolls out, we have to reenact all these fantasies that we played in our minds about the characters. We have to take pictures of them. We have to videotape it. We have to talk about it to people in our doll community who are keeping up with the goings-on of our doll stories. I think people get very upset when they see that the doll collectors are doing or saying anything outside of dolls. It makes them really uncomfortable because it's hard for them to fathom that this person is not constantly obsessing and just talking about dolls all day long. And when we are in front of our audience, the audience will sometimes expect for us to do that because this is their only chance to talk about dolls with another human. They're the objects they have given this human quality to, whereas with human beings, they don't really connect. They don't really want to be bothered. They don't really want to talk to people. They don't take their relationship with people that seriously. They're more attached to their dolls than they are to humans in their lives. So when we break that pattern for them on Broken Barbie TV, sometimes it makes those people very, very distraught. And it comes out as them complaining that, I guess Adonis is their scapegoat because he's the one that talks the most about non-doll related things in an overt way on our channel.
Here's the crazy thing as you say that. It's very hypocritical. And it's very hypocritical because they're talking to you about dolls, meanwhile they gotta go to work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, meanwhile they're trying to sustain marriages, relationships, children, doctor's appointments, whatever the case is.
I know they're saying, well, this is the only place where I can go to where I can look at dolls. I'm saying I'm maintaining all of that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So relax, man. You know, this lady, Oreo Swirl, whatever this lady's name is, she's over there
Oreo Swirl.
in fantasy
Every
world.
time you say her name is a different kind of pastry. What is going on?
She's over there in fantasy world with and for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Before she
but even that is an act. That's the other thing I was going to say. A lot of these other doll channels, like Janine says in her comment, she says that we make our channel stand out from the next guys over at the other channels.
But we aren't trying to make it stand out.
We're just being ourselves. If all of those doll tubers were just being themselves, I promise you money that their channels would take on a completely different vibe, because those people are acting. They're on YouTube specifically to turn their channels into a business so that they can make money, which is fine, and not have to go to an everyday job. Those people who have reached that level on their channel did it by not keeping it real. Those people did it by kissing the asses of the corporate companies that produce these dolls that we consume. Those people did it by telling you what you wanted to hear.
Look at Froggy. She
totally changed that. Totally changed that.
A lot of you guys are complaining about her now because you remember before the corporations
when it was
came
more
in.
organic. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, since the corporations came in,
yeah,
y'all don't like her as much no more.
Mm-hmm. So that's the point I'm trying to make. The real and true personalities of these people that are on these channels, like maybe 95% of that is hidden from the viewers, because if you guys knew that this person was actually doing this or doing that or worked in this line,
you wouldn't watch.
You wouldn't be as interested in them. This is what they think. They think you wouldn't be interested in them because you're so obsessed with dolls.
We're just making the doll content that we would like to see.
Right.
That's what we're doing. All right.
Right. And
I feel like we told y'all that 20, maybe 40. There's like over 200 videos on our page now. I feel like we told you that 100 videos ago. We're just talking about the topics that
matter to us.
Yeah, the things that matter to us, and that just happens to
be controversial.
Listen,
yeah.
Anything that is universal. I said this in another video. Universal means white. That's what universal means. When people say, we don't think this person has a universal appeal, we don't think your show has a universal appeal.
Yeah, it means white people are uncomfortable hearing
about it. That's what they mean. That's the sugary stuff that y'all want. That you want some white shit. Get the fuck away from me with that. Like, I don't have a problem with white people. I just don't want your white shit over here. The same way you don't want my black shit over there, I don't want your white shit over here.
Alright, so the sugar-coated version of that is basically you're saying we wanted a way for our culture to be reflected in our art. And when we were watching YouTube and watching TV, the media didn't reflect that at the time when we first started doing this Barbie thing. Now, in 2017 going into 18, there's more on TV, thanks to Netflix and Hulu doing original shows.
There's still not enough black stuff.
Yeah, that reflect other ethnicities.
There's more black stuff, but it's like, I feel like these corporations gave you one or two black things,
so you would shut the fuck up and just be happy.
And then they flooded it with the other ethnicities that were totally underrepresented, like Asians, Indians. I mean, we still don't see anything with Native Americans, the indigenous Americans.
Yeah.
But you see more with Asians, not just Chinese. You see, Koreans, and you always have seen Japanese, but you see more Koreans, and you see more
Vietnamese,
Southern Asians, Vietnamese, and Thai. You see more of that, but you didn't. They were totally underrepresented. You didn't see them at all.
Right.
So when I say, I don't mind seeing your white shit, it isn't like I have a choice in seeing your white
Right.
shit.
We've just always been bombarded with white
Yeah.
culture here in the States that it's second nature to us. Like, we are so familiar with white culture that there's nothing new you can bring to the table.
I say white culture because look at the doll game. Barbie is you're forced to get this blonde, blue-eyed girl.
Right.
You're forced to get her and Ken.
Yeah.
For many years, you weren't getting any black dolls.
Yeah.
You were getting black dolls on some halfway shit.
Yeah.
You was getting Barbie's face with black skin.
And they would still infuse blonde hair, blue-eyed Barbie into the lineups of dolls that were supposed to reflect some level of ethnicity.
Like Gypsy was just talking to this person, or this person made a comment on our page.
And then we get comments like this, where people will say, oh, this one line had a black doll in it, and this other one line had a couple of ethnic dolls in it from 20 years ago. Why are you complaining that Mattel doesn't make enough black dolls?
But the thing is, every one of those lines had
A
Barbie
white doll in it. Yeah, so it's like...
To which Gypsy had to reply to that person, the only line that Mattel ever made that didn't feature Barbie, that didn't have Barbie in it, was sis dolls. Those were so wildly popular
that they completely stopped doing it.
They just stopped making them.
And actually, there were a couple of other lines. Tevin is more familiar with that, so if you're watching this, Tevin, leave it in the comments. But there's like some other dolls where they had like Shani and her friends or something that were black girls.
Those were super underpromoted.
They were. And those were from like way early, like I want to say they were from the early 90s. So I wasn't even living in America at that time.
I know they were underpromoted because I was living in America.
Mm-hmm.
I was super watching television then.
Yeah.
I was like,
and you
I don't know, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Toys was still on my radar.
Yeah, and I feel like you had to be in an environment where your predominant population was a black demographic.
I lived in the inner city.
To even have access to those dolls in them stores.
When I was 15, I was just getting out of the foster home. I was watching TV. I was watching cable. I was watching BET. I was watching MTV Heavy. I was watching Saturday morning cartoons. That was still a thing. Saturday morning cartoons, they had just commercials for all kids. They had girl commercials. They had boy commercials. I didn't see Shani doll. I don't remember that. And I remember you guys know I'm a history buff. That stuff was super underpromoted. I would remember seeing that. If I saw it once, I actually remember seeing the video for the commercial for Rappin' Rockin' Barbie.
Oh Jesus.
That bullshit.
And even that had blonde hair Barbie in it. But that's what I'm saying. So when people of color and people who are part of this minority community of people, which we do exist, just because you're not part of it doesn't mean what we feel and think and go through is not important. You know what I'm saying?
About our stuff that we go through.
Yeah.
Everybody, not everybody, white people who want this universal appeal, and other people who feel like they want universal stuff, which is, again, let's review, universal means white.
But I don't think people realize that that's what that means. We're
like
so indoctrinated and assimilated into this culture that we think it's our own culture after a while.
But those of us who know that isn't, I mean, listen, if it's really America and America is the melting pot of everybody, then everybody's culture should
matter,
at the forefront. And everybody's culture doesn't matter. Because the only culture that really, really matters is, this is what is shown to us, is white culture. And all of these Barbie channels are talking about this.
And not white European culture, because I feel like I would even accept that over what America considers white culture. Like, people from Europe actually do have culture. They have their own languages. They have their own customs. If you meet Italian people, French people, and Russian people, they all might look the same, but they don't act or think the same way. They have different ways of doing things that they bring to a table that gives you a diverse way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? And I can appreciate that.
Hey, we're going to have to wrap this up because we can be talking about this stuff all day.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll market this as like a podcast video response to our subscriber Janine's comment. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, why not? And we'll put it on there, and you can keep whatever you want to keep. We won't put a time constraint on it. Okay. But anyway, okay. So I really appreciate Janine's comment because it was very thoughtful, and it prompted so much of a discussion between Adonis and I that we felt compelled to make this video response, because we thought just responding back to her in text wouldn't do her comment any justice. And I feel that what she was saying was a reflection of what some other people who are not as articulate as her probably feel. But analyzing her comment kind of allowed for us to explain ourselves a little bit more in depth. And the last thing I wanted to go into was her reminders, where she was talking about some things that she wanted us to do, like video requests that she had for us that have been a long time coming, but she's mentioning them again because I've told you guys, because I have a hard time focusing, you guys have to stalk me in the comments and remind me over and over again to make certain videos that you've requested, because I intend to make them, but I may not have time to make them right then, so I just need the reminders. So she did that, and one of the things that she had asked for was a hip-hop clothing tutorial with like a lesson in the video where we are explaining what inspired that particular style of clothing. And so to do that, we would be talking about the history of a specific look and relating that to rappers. Well, guess what, guys? In order to create a series like that and make it actually worth your while watching, and not just saying, oh, baggy pants, yeah, black people did that in the 80s, and then it just stuck. You know, that's not really a good analysis of where baggy pants came from. But to get the real, like, meat and potatoes of that sort of content, guess who would be behind the scenes working his ass off to give you that information? Adonis, because Adonis is the hip-hop head and the history buff between the two of us.
I was actually going to say baggy pants was more in the 90s. Tight, skinny pants.
You see what I'm saying?
Was more in the 80s, the late
right.
80s. You can go back and look at rap videos, and nobody was wearing baggy pants in the mid to late 80s. Nobody was really wearing baggy. That was like a 90s, 91 type of thing. When
so that topic happens to be the one that Adonis is the expert on, because this is his forte. And just like how I'm like the doll expert, Adonis is the hip-hop head, okay? So he can talk about this stuff off the top of his head. He don't even have to look up no facts. But to do it justice, he would look up facts, pictures, whatever footage he could get for you guys, music that he could get that would reflect the information he's giving you. You would get such an awesome experience in a series like that based on the content that Adonis is bringing to the video. You know, his contribution would be critical to getting a good video series like that out to you all, and we do intend to do that. But I just wanted to really touch on how important Adonis's role in this channel is, because he is really the other half of the channel. Without him, I don't know, I would just be doing a lot of stuff on here that a lot of you guys would be like, this is so random, what the hell is she talking about? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But he kind of brings that, you know, let's come off of the planet you're on, Gypsy, and back down to Earth where everybody else is at. That's what Adonis brings to this channel.
That's Gypsy's perception of it from her point of view. My perception of it is, like Gypsy said in this very last video, that Adonis is looking at it from a creative standpoint. Like he's, you know, because I'm a performing artist, like Gypsy's a performing artist. Yeah. All right? But because we actually are performing artists, it's not that well, let me take that back. Because we actually are dope, it's not that difficult to come up with original stuff that's going to keep your attention, because, you know, you're not accustomed to mixing this stuff with the doll thing, bringing it all back in. You're not used to mixing polygamy with dolls.
True. But in 10 years, that's going to be another standard, just like how open gay relationships now is a standard. In 10 more years, you guys are going to be looking back at this channel like they were beyond their time. Oh my God. Like, my kids are in poly relationships now, and it's not even considered weird. You know what I'm saying? So let's just, you know, let's leave it at that. And again, special thanks to Janine for her very thoughtful, profound comment that prompted this discussion. And I really love seeing comments like that from you guys. So in the future, I do encourage you guys to leave those kinds of comments. Don't hold back. We don't hold back here, so you guys don't have to hold back either. Tell us how you feel. And even those of you that whine and complain, we don't mind you whining and complaining. It's all right. Y'all can say what y'all want to say to us. We're not going to die. We're not going to kill you. We're not going to, you know, quit the channel because you said something we didn't like. But we appreciate everybody's comments and their opinions. I want to give a special shout out again to Tevin the Toy Guy. Find him in the comments of our last video. I wanted to read his comment real quick. He said, I love Adonis. He made me break out of my shell more now that I am doing my face reveal videos as well as outing videos. And this is the best adult collector YouTube channel because y'all give zero fucks and don't sugarcoat shit for nobody. So I appreciate Tevin saying that. I know Tevin always says what's on his mind, and he's a lot like Adonis too, in that he will go off on Mattel and at them in his comments on Instagram. He don't care, but we appreciate his opinions. And he doesn't always agree with Adonis. They go back and forth a lot, actually. But it's with this respect of we can agree to disagree, and I see where you're coming from. So we love that about Tevin. I wanted to also shout out Toy Scram, who said, I appreciate your channel. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you, Adonis. Thank you for saying that. And shout out to Jay Seals, who said there's no need for you to explain your life to the doll world. If they cannot understand that you have a life like they do, then screw them. I think Adonis is doing a great job, and he should continue to do what he does. This channel is one of the better doll channels I've seen on YouTube. So we really do appreciate all you guys who have been sticking with us and can see the vision of this channel and appreciate us for just being ourselves. You guys are our core subscribers and viewers and fans, and we really do feel connected to you guys on a personal level outside of Doll World. And so that means a lot to us because it's hard. It's hard to find people like that in the world that you can connect with. So we just love that you guys have access to us and we have access to y'all. Thank you so much for watching this long-ass podcast. And we're going to try and do more things like this for y'all because we know we love to switch things up here and bring you guys different types of content.
Remember, when you see people doing this, and you will.
You know where you saw it first,
right,
bitch!
Right.
Okay, and make sure that you're following us on Instagram if you aren't already. If you don't have an Instagram, why not start one? It's very fun, and we have a huge, fun doll community that really love to interact with each other. So go ahead and follow us. Scroll through some of our followers and follow them too. And stay tuned for our weekly Instagram live videos where we talk about everything, and not just dolls, but everything, whatever we got on our mind, whatever you guys have on your minds. And subscribe to this channel so you can get more dolly fun and great content like this, and so that we can keep in touch with each other and grow our adult ethnic urban doll community and whatever else we're all into. And that's all I had to say. Adonis, you got any parting words for everybody?
Be keeping it real with yourself makes it easier for you to keep it real with others. If you can be honest with yourself, it's so much easier to be honest with other people. Which
True that.
Why it's easy for me to be like, I know you don't like it. I'm sorry you don't like it. A little bit, I feel bad, but a lot of it I don't care.
Oh God, yeah, so don't hate because you wish you could tell the truth but you don't know how to. All right, we'll talk to you guys later, and as usual, have a dolly day.